The MIT ethos is one of exploration, of experimentation, of discovery, with the idea that anything worth understanding that's not already understood has to be approached in this dynamic, engaged fashion, not in a computational, not in a transactional way, but in an exploratory way of real deep investment in learning about how something operates. That ethos of exploration, discovery, experimentation carries over to how we think about management at the Sloan School, in that if you're trying to do something new, the reason you're doing something new is because you're motivated to do something new because whatever you've been doing is not adequate. I mean, if it was adequate, why would you do something new, right? It's, there's no compulsion to change. And if you're doing something new, it means that you're doing something new in an arena, in an environment where you don't have full mastery, full understanding. Like any other thing we teach in terms of how do we experiment, how do we explore, the idea always comes back to take quick, small, non-disruptive steps first to get feedback that's fast, that's frequent, that has high fidelity, that has high accuracy, that's easier to interpret versus not. I mean, this is the ethos of the experimental method and the scientific method. There are a couple of recent successes that I refer to intellectually, emotionally, in terms of people creating much better conditions in which others can be successful. One is work that flows through time, and the other one which is occurring in space. So the one that which occurs in time is drug development, that there's a very upstream process of high-speed throughput screening, and some candidate compounds are generated, and they are handed off to a group of chemists who then try to take these sort of suggestions. These are almost like the equivalent of a sketch on the back of an envelope, and turn them into bona fide molecules that can be tested to test their efficacy against proteins in the body. And we went through a period working with a team of chemists and biologists and other scientists and technicians, and by mapping better who should be in conversation with whom, in what way, we're able to get that flow of ideas from gestation through maturation through delivery, a process that typically took well over a year, and got it accomplished in under 6 months. And again, what changed? The basic science on the benchtop, same basic science. The instrumentation, same basic instrumentation. The science which people were drawing out of sort of the ether to inform their work, that was the same. The only thing that changed, but of course it was important, was creating the social circuitry of who was connected to whom, in what way, about what collaborative conversations to get much better results. When COVID hit the United States, schools got shut down on Friday the 13th of March. And the 12th kids were in school, and on the 13th, boom, that was it. And things shut down. Now, to put it in some perspective, there are something like 51 million children in American public schools. And well known is the consequence of kids not going to school. There's the knowledge and skills they lose over the summer. They're the kids who go to school not only for the education, but for the hot meals, for the medical care, social services, all sorts of things. You strip that away, it has huge, huge complications on some of the most vulnerable members of society. And so the heads of those systems went out to their superintendents and said, look, we don't have an answer. We just have hunches, we have information which we can share with you. But what we want you to do is within your own realm of responsibility, start running experiments, small scale, controlled, pilots, mock-ups, whatever it is, but start running experiments about how to open your classroom safely. And what ended up happening is the superintendents, when this landed on them from the higher government officials, they said, we have a very varied district. What are we going to do? And they went through the same recursive exercise of saying to principals, look, we can share with you our best guesses, we can share with you resources if you need time, you need money, information that we're getting that you're not getting. But what we can't do is run experiments. You can do that. And then the principals said to teachers in some cases, look, we can't come up with a policy even at the school level, which is going to be perfectly good, K through 12 and kids with special needs and this and that. Teachers, we need you to run experiments. And then you had teachers who turned around and said to parents, we need your help on this. We need your help because we know your kids, but we don't really know your kids. And we need your help running the experiments on how to open safely and effectively, safe for the kids, safe for the staff, safe for the parents, safe for the community. Anyway, in the best of cases, schools closed on the 13th of March, and in the best systems, this rapid distribution out to the operating edge of the chance to experiment and pilot and mock up and prototype, it was happening on Saturday and Sunday. You know, school closed on the 13th, and by the 14th, 15th, and 16th, they're already running drills. And into the summer, they're already running tests. And so come September, they're able to open up for K1 and 2. Kids who, they can't turn on an iPad and learn by Zoom. And then by October, they've got the rest of the elementary school in person. By November, they've got the middle school, and by December, K-12 is open. Linking this back, what we've seen is really marvelous examples of people who have figured out how to create conditions for processes that run through time, like drug development, and other people who figured out how to create opportunity for processes which are distributed across space. And in both cases, the folks who gave a lot of attention to creating these conditions in which all brains are engaged, they consistently and predictably outperformed those who did not.